Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, coming to bring you that boom bap reference. Yes, us, not just me, holding the D, straight from the city, straight from the DMV, all the way up to Jersey, all the way to ATL. Can you smell me? Let me introduce you to my brethren, them called Evan. And first responding, you know her name, Renee Johnston.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ryan?
I
Yo,
don't even know what to do with the introductions anymore.
the introductions are getting better, especially for Renee. This
First
dope.
responding. Yeah, you still my brethren, though, you know.
I know. It's cool. It's right there.
I feel like Evan's last name is easier to rhyme things with, though.
Well, he doesn't give us that.
I don't.
So.
I don't want to make it easy for him, Renee.
Yeah.
He's a professional. I gotta, stretch his.
Yeah. Far from hell, close to the heaven. It's my brethren. Heaven.
See, look at that. Look at that. And if I just gave my last name, it'd be too easy. I'm proud of you.
You look like a Smith.
A Smith.
Yeah, you look like a Smith. Like you look like you come from the Smith plantation.
Damn.
I mean, that's where our last names come from, Evan.
I mean, that's real. You're right. I just, I didn't think you were gonna take me back to the plantation at 8:02 this morning. That's here we are.
I mean, I guess he could have waited until 8:12, but I don't know that.
I know, right? How was your weekend, Ear Doctor? You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, let me tell you. Listen, I hang with some pretty dope people. You know what I'm saying? People that's making moves. We had a conference this weekend. Let Us Make Man, and we was it was great. We had a room full, at least over about 200, maybe or less. But young boys, some young sisters, some mothers, fathers, grandparents, they was all in the room getting educated about different stuff that helps make you man. We had one classroom was talking about Black family. We had one talking about consequences of what you do once you outside in these streets, what could happen. Some more about learning your history. It was dope. So this is like the 20th year of doing this. So it was real good. And then after that, I did a prom and went and rocked the prom. And they said, see you next year. I was like, cha-cha-cha-ching. So that was good. I went from a whole room of Black people to a whole room of white people. It was great.
Oh, the prom was a white prom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would say it was about 30% Black people in there.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely.
And the music is not. It's still the same music. Like it's nothing new. I'm still playing the same shit from the last 2 years, so it was real easy. You only add in a couple songs, maybe like Whammy or Take Me Through There, Take Me Through There.
Yeah, I know that one. I was like,
Take me through there, take me through there. So that and then I worked on some art. I got a new art piece that I worked on. I'll show it to y'all on a break or something. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, art piece that you made?
Yeah. I'm an artiste. You see this stuff right here? You know what I mean? Come on, son.
I don't mean to, box you in to just
please.
The artistry that you provide, but
felt like this was
I didn't know.
I was getting boxed in. But let me see if we can. I guess Renee is going to bring herself back up. She's doing some things, you know what I'm saying? How was your weekend, Evan?
My weekend was good. It was busy. Let me see. Saturday, I went to Malcolm X grassroots movements, MXGMs, People's Assembly they had here in DC. They're focused on building a People's Self-Defense Network. That was really dope. I was not able to go, but BAP and PACA were both in attendance to a Palestinian Prisoners Day commemoration that was actually held here in DC at Palestine House of Freedom. Shout out to them. Hosted by Palestinian Youth Movement. Shout out to them. And co-sponsored by, of course, BAP, by PACA, DPC, and a couple other organizations that are aligned with us in the area. Jackie gave an incredible, beautiful grounding for the panel. The panel also included former political prisoners or former Palestinian prisoners. So yeah, it was a very dope event. Jackie did a lot to connect, the Black liberation struggle to the Palestinian struggle, right? Especially through our political prisoners, right? Like it's an obvious connection. And something that Jackie said, I just really appreciate. I'm going to say again, but she said these people were not born heroes, but their resistance makes them heroes. They are ordinary, just like you. They are our North Star, and like that was just so powerful to me, just because I think that is what I'm always left with when I learn about our political prisoners, and of course political prisoners more broadly speaking, including Palestinian ones. Just like the immense kind of like the immense like challenges that they're facing, right? Like the psychological, physical, and sexual abuse that they face, right? The counterinsurgency that they face within the walls, right? For them to then continue to like organize inside prisons, right? And for them to continue to like put themselves at risk. We did that Pendleton 2 event a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to all love and solidarity to the Pendleton 2. Shout out to 2 Black and all of his wonderful work and excellent work. But that was like when I first saw the Pendleton 2 documentary, right? Like that was what stuck with me. Like these people are heroes, right? We grew up caring about Superman and Batman and all these other people, or these Europeans that are just colonizers and imperialists that are supposed to be our heroes, right? And then you get older, you learn about these individuals, right? At Pendleton 2 in this example, right? People who had years, months on their sentence and sacrificed that to save the life of another person, and now are being punished for it, right? Because political prisoners are made by the state, right? Like the state's violence and oppression is like what creates them. Obviously nothing, it's not the crime, or it's nothing they have done, right? So these two, in that case, these 2 men saved somebody's life, and now they're being punished for it with more than hundreds of years, or more than 100 years, I think, on their sentences. So yeah, just a dope event. Many connections were made. Shout out to Jackie for doing the grounding, and shout out to all the comrades from PACA and from BAP that were there.
All right, that was a mouthful right there. That was a lot. That was a busy weekend there. That's good. That's good. Speaking of North Star, did you see the new anime Fist of the North Star?
There's a new Fist of the North Star?
Yes.
I gotta check that out. I'll check that out. I didn't know about that.
Woo! I was like, really? Yo, they bringing shit back, man. I'm telling you, this anime.
That's how it is. Like nothing old. Like they can't come up with any new ideas. You know what I'm saying?
They don't.
It's whatever. It's whatever. I've been watching Invincible, so that's
Invincible is the shit. It is the shit. It's really good. Yeah. And Boys is back too. But that's a whole nother.
I got to.
What does can't mean?
The dude who plays Frenchie is a IOF soldier, and it's like documented, like talking about kidnapping an 18-year-old Palestinian girl from her family, and like all the I can't.
Oh, so one of the actors,
one that plays Frenchie, just like lovable, in actuality, is an IOF veteran soldier.
Oh, so that's causing you not to watch it.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. I mean, yeah. Not to say that there's any nothing to say that the entertainment industry is free of contradictions, but this is
I was about to say. I didn't know if you knew all the people that did the anime too.
I mean, as the contradictions come up, if I'm aware of them, I'll respond, right? But this one, that's too obvious.
Good for you. I'm not shopping at Target anymore either. Hey, Renee, how was your weekend?
Why do you have to do that? Like why do you have to do that?
I try so hard, Renee. I try so hard. You know what I'm saying? To like,
hey, I'm doing my part. How was Saturdays with Renee?
And Saturdays was actually really good. we were able to screen a short film called Hind Under Siege, which is directed and written by, produced by Palestinians and it surrounds the story of Hind Rajab, who was shot to death in her car by the IOF in Gaza with her family. They were all killed. It's a very different movie than The Voice of Hind, which has been getting a lot of like popular and mainstream view. I honestly, like, it ended and I was a mess, and it took me like 5 minutes to get myself together to be able to talk after it ended. Because they're still screening, we did have to take the actual movie down, but the conversation with the director Raji, who is Jordanian Palestinian. Let me make sure I'm clear on that. And because of the situation in Palestine, has actually never been to Palestine. His mother is the writer and one of the producers of the film, and I have to do some research because I don't know a lot of the history behind the family, but his mother is apparently a singer and was relatively popular in Palestine. And as all things, I am sure that there are contradictions. Like, one of their funders is the Jordanian government, which has its own contradictions. But the film itself is probably, I don't even know how. I mean, I'm driving, so I can't see what folks in the chat are saying. But
they're saying I would. Leah Box says I was a mess after watching. Terry Conley says very powerful and film and loved the film. Heartbreaking film.
Yeah. It was an awful thing to witness, and the whole film is put together based on the direct accounts of Hind's family, her mother, of the people who were working in the room when the call came in, of the recordings between Hind and the Crescent group who took the emergency call while they were trying to figure out how to get to her. So it's according to the film folks, and it's Fajrona Films, it was all based completely.
Look at that. Let's see. I see Cricket Wireless ain't on point today.
Just to complete Renee's thought, it was all, if I remember correctly, it was all based off of all the people that were in the film were real people that were involved. Like there are no like actors. I think it was where she was going with that.
Let me see. Is it back yet? Maybe not. All right, we'll let her hit us in the private chat when she's ready to go. Yeah. So so you seen the film also?
No, I haven't seen the film. I caught some of their discussion, but I didn't see it live, so I wasn't able to watch the film. I need to come back and see it. Obviously, it's obviously and unsurprisingly, it's a very tough film to watch. But right, it's a horrible real life instance, right?
Yeah,
microcosm, right, of the type of like brutality that the IOF and the Zionist entity engaged in, and it's I think something else I remember from their conversation was just like the fact that there's not even oftentimes there's a lie and like say like this was a situation as opposed to this, right? But like it's so my understanding is like it's so obvious, right? All the evidence is so clear that they knew that Hind was in the car and that they knew that the Red Crescent was trying to come to help her, right? And killed her, right? Like it's just, yeah, man, it's just like devastating, but like also just very obvious, right? That there's like no kind of lie that they can produce, right? That would explain it.
Well,
just real quick, I just want to clarify: they were all actors in the movie, but the Red Crescent people who were involved on set, as was and the mother and Hind's mother was very involved in the writing of the script. but they were all actors in the film. But they were also all Palestinians who were acting in the film. So just
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, they're all actors, but they were playing all real individuals that were in. Was that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Every person that was in the film is an actual documented person who was involved in what happened that day.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that correction. Renee, where can we see the film if we missed it on Saturday?
So I have to make sure that it's actually in the film notes. It turned into a little bit of a crazy weekend for me, but they are still streaming and doing film festivals. I believe he's in North Carolina, and they're doing something at one of the North Carolina state schools this week. There's also something happening in Houston. One of my goals in life is now to get it to screen in New Jersey. So now I have to figure that out. But I'll send you, Evan, the direct link, because for now, as they're doing, the film festivals and all those things, they're not expecting it to be able to be streamed until the fall.
Okay.
So, and it's a short one, it's like 24, 25 minutes, the full film.
Yeah.
But it was, I have no words for like how distressed I felt at the end of watching those 25 minutes. There's like, we literally had to take like a break, like put like we'll be right back up, because I couldn't get myself together quick enough.
Great. Make sure y'all go check that out and check out the last episode of Saturdays with Renee. Speaking of, Black Liberation Media is executive producing a documentary on Cuba, so that'll be coming out this year. So get ready for that.
Is that what Musa's involved with?
Yes, the good old Musa.
Musa.
And so that's something that's coming up. So I know we've been talking about that for a minute, but finally coming into fruition. Yes. All right. So I guess we can go ahead and take a quick break, and then we can come back. You got some stories pulled up, Evan?
We got some stories. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough morning.
Really? It's just a lot of stuff happened over. And speaking, I see you was watching shows, Evan. Did you get a chance to watch the last Shaka Khan? That was a good one, classical breakdown. Thanks for all the people that tuned in for that. It was so good that we only got to cover her during the 70s. But guess what, y'all? We'll be back this Thursday covering the rest of Shaka Khan Part 2 when we talking about the 80s and 90s. Yo.
How often do you do something that's so prolific that you have to split it up? You can't even do it in like one.
We have just Stevie Wonder. Because if we was to do, we're gonna do Isley Brothers, but somebody like that spanned it over decades. We're talking about from the 50s all the way to goddamn 2000. So
that's crazy.
It's a lot of music for some people. So make sure y'all tune in Thursday at 11 for that. All right, boom. Let's go ahead and take our first. Do I got shit ready? I think I do. All right. No, I don't.
Let's share, subscribe, please support.
Thank you. Appreciate. There you go. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do right there, Evan. You know what I mean? Hold me down when I don't have it all the way together, which is rare. But thank you. All right, let's take a break right here on No Other Than the Remix Morning Show. Yeah. Didn't know what to write, so I sat down and wrote it. Oh, big up to Just Ice, man. That beat right there always get me. Anyway, hit that like, subscribe, and welcome out to No Other Than the Remix Morning Show. You know what it is. It's time to do the weather report. Y'all been wondering, you stick your hand outside to see what it is, and then in the morning and then by the evening or afternoon, it's burning up. Well, let you know what the highs are in your neighborhood. All right, let's first start here in the ATL. We got a high today of 78 degrees. Right now it's 45. It's wild because it's hitting like 80 one day, 60 the next day. This weather don't know what it want to do. DC, 61 degrees. It's crazy. because Chicago's high is 69 degrees. You never expect Chicago to be warmer than DC, but it is what it is. Houston, they got a high today of 71 degrees. Bahamas, 77 degrees. It's not that hot, y'all. But I tell you where it is hot. Niger. Yes, we talk about a high of 104 degrees. Zinder. Yes, 104. Now that's hot. I'll tell you what else was hot. Like I told you, this weekend was pretty hot. And what was hot about it? Well, let me show you. It was the Let Us Make Man event this Saturday where we brought out all these people on a Saturday morning at 8 in the morning till 4 on a Saturday to come and learn. It was beautiful. And speaking of that, also make sure I'm going to do a live. That's right. The Malcolm X Festival coming May 16th and 17th here in Atlanta. If you are in town, come through. It's going to be dope. And yes, I will be on the stage rocking it. So make sure y'all come through for that. All right. With that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Hey, Renee, you gonna put your avatar back up? You kind of bland right now. Did you make it home yet?
No, you can't see the avatar. Are you being funny?
Nah.
Oh no.
Really?
Yeah, we lost the avatar when you came back. I think we lost it.
Yeah,
so that's wild because on my screen, my avatar is on screen. Like on my phone, I can see it.
That's weird.
Well, so is it possibly all right? Well, I'm like 10 minutes from home. So.
All right, cool. We'll deal with this for now, but I don't like it.
Look, okay. y'all the ones who wanted me to stay on Tuesdays. Like
I know. I watched Monday and I see we getting promises of faces on screen and we ain't get no faces on the screen. It's just, to see y'all beautiful faces in person and then not be able to see them, the world to see us. It's, it is what it is. Gotta handle your biz. Anyway. So great weekend. Malcolm X Festival. I'm gonna do a live, so make sure y'all tune in for that. Man, it's been 25, 30 years of the Malcolm X Festival at that same park. And I don't think I've missed like too many at all. So it's gonna be dope. Thinking about joining with community movement builders. I believe they usually get a table out there and have flyers with Musa and stuff. So we'll probably connect with them and see if we can get some flyers out, some t-shirts and stuff like that.
I got to make sure you take a group BLM picture.
Yeah, I did last year too. I did. If I can find it, I'll pull it back up. With that said, let me get out of here and let y'all get to some news and things. Bye.
Good, sir. Peace. Renee, what's
good?
Wait,
so is it just your face for real?
It's just me. It's just my face.
That's so funny. I wonder you think I should leave and come back and see if that works?
No, don't leave me.
I mean, just your little picture on the thing don't make that much difference. So you good.
No, honestly, it is a difference. Yeah. At least seeing Renee's silhouette does make me feel like I am.
You're talking to somebody in real.
It really does.
This is an AI feel right here.
Oh man. It's all good. Renee, how you feeling? How you was this a story? There was a lot of
There's a lot. You can pick. I really am close to home now. I'm like less than a mile from the house. But I mean, I don't know, man.
Evan, what do you do when Kim's not here?
What?
What do you do when Kim's not here?
Oh, you got to have him slap the map. It's you.
Oh my God! Can you throw the thing? Can you throw the sideline? What would we do without the ear doctor?
I don't know. Yell less.
Less stress. Yes, yes. I think so.
Although, I was talking to, I don't remember who I was talking to, and I was like, for as much as like sometimes I'm like, wait, what? The reality is that the things that Air Doctor intentionally pokes us about are actual things that a lot of people think that we have to find a way to counter.
Yes.
So for as much as in the moment you want to be like, what? Like what? It does force the conversation that you have to be prepared to have with people who are simply not in this place. Right? And so there's some definite need and validity to the idea that you have to learn to have conversations with people who are just not where you are, which admittedly is not my strength, admittedly. So
he's just off screen, just soaking this in like it's just yes, the Ear Doctor serves a genuine purpose in the conversations, and we appreciate him for filling that role. Anyway, moving on to the news, we're gonna. It's not light. We're just gonna ease our way into it because all of this stuff is terrible. But we can start with this. These first deportees from US arrive in Congo capital. Sources say. I think a couple of things are important to note here, right? First off, is that well, I'll just read this first piece. Actually, yeah, I'm just reading these first two paragraphs. The first migrants deported from the United States under a recent bilateral agreement arrived in Democratic Republic of Congo early on Friday. According to one of the migrants, a lawyer in contact with the group, and two airport sources. The plane carrying deportees from Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador landed in Kinshasa around 1 a.m. Flight tracking data shows. That's all I want to point out is that the U.S., this violent settler colonial empire, is sending people just and using comprador regimes on the continent that are willing to sign these bilateral agreements. They're willing to take these people from anywhere, right? So you have these people who are from Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador that are now being dropped off in the Congo, or rather in the Democratic Republic of Congo. To do what, right? Like with what prospects, right? To like take care of themselves, to like with what community, right? Like it's it's like it's so perverse and like so intentionally cruel, but par for the course here. But yeah.
So sorry. These are the moments where I'm like, wait, what did I just hear? So
no, I was reading the article and I was like, I had to like read it those first two paragraphs again because I was like, wait, what did I?
What? Yeah. So okay. So do we know how many people did they say? Did they give a number?
Yeah. It was a total of 16 people, 9 men, 16. 7 women.
So 16 people who have literally no ties to the continent, right? By assumption, given where their home country is, right?
Yeah.
And so so everyone should be clear that all of these things that are happening are one, financial deals to keep countries like the Republic of Congo under colonial rule, right? Mm-hmm. So they make these deals, and the DRC is going to get, or has already gotten, some substantial amount of money in order to, accommodate this deal.
Yeah.
Which is just so everyone's clear. I just recently re-listened to Confessions of an Economic Hitman, which it's been on my list to like re-listen for a while, and there's like a new version out of it, like the new Confessions of an Economic Hitman.
Oh, like with updates and stuff like that?
It's updates, and he goes into the present, and he's way more liberal than is my preference. Like, he really believes in like this ideal, quote unquote, America, and that you know all the things that are not actually helpful. But his story of what he participated in is like it all just fits all of this. It's a just replace oil company with private prison, and like it's literally the same. It's the same
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah. I mean, I know the book was eye opening for me when I read it many years ago, and I know it is for a lot of people. You're right, and I remember. I don't even like remember a particular part of the book that like stands out to me in terms of his liberalism, but like I'm not surprised at all. And yeah, I mean, I think like what that it just exposed like the thing that so many people have been talking about and demonstrating, but like to hear somebody who's involved with it, like say like, yeah, this is how we did it. This is the bag of money I gave to this person, and like it's just it is kind of crazy and incredibly useful to have that background. But yeah, I didn't know that they were redoing it and adding additional pieces. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's much longer, this new version, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, he was essentially like that. He had so many questions and things over time, and I think also part of it is like, you know, the nonprofit complex. Like he essentially got like. It sounds to me like kind of bribed to focus on nonprofits and to not like do this thing with exposing of the economic hitman. So there's like a lot more, you know, but he gives away a lot. And even in what he gives away, he doesn't give away everything. And he says at the start of the new book that, you know, the book is now like his protection versus when he initially started to write it, he was getting threats and, you know, he thinks he was poisoned. Like there's a lot. There's a lot.
That's interesting. I gotta look into that. Yeah, I mean, and I'm sorry, I'm seeing more questions in the chat about the story we just spoke. I think then we just pull this comment up. Chinimachi, because yes, they are Congo is a French-speaking country. On top of that, isn't the Congo French? Yes, speaking, and they're dropping off English, Spanish speakers halfway around the world. Yes, that is true. And just a couple additional points. I'll just keep reading a couple additional points. Congo's interior ministry and a spokesperson for the Congolese presidency did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Of course not. Reuters reported on Wednesday that more than 30 migrants were expected to be deported to Congo this week, right? So they started with the 15 that just happened, right? Supposedly supposed to have 30, more than 30 total this week. Alma David, a U.S.-based lawyer representing one of the migrants, said the lower number of arrivals could be due to last-minute interventions by U.S. federal judges. She said she was aware of at least 3 cases of which judges halted removals. It is unclear how many people could ultimately be deported under the agreement between Washington and Kinshasa announced on the 5th of April. This is just nuts. And it's kind of weird that the way that they just, I don't know, the way they frame the interventions, right? It's like they're trying to ostensibly keep you from violating these people's rights, but you know, they're just like, you're getting in the way of us sending these people wherever we want to. So,
and I mean, I guess the only thing I can think about, like, outside of the money, right? Because we know at the core of this, that's what it's really about, right? Is the money, right? And also in part, imperialism, right? Because they're trying to maintain these ties in this way to countries where, like, realistically, there's no business, like there should be no business for the US in the Congo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's not, you know, even if we're saying like, well, you know, if you have like fair trade or whatever, and there's like something, and the people in the DRC are going to actually make money off of this thing that they're exporting to the US. Like, okay, great. Let's put that aside as a possibility, right? But the reality of the situation is this is totally based on on profit stealing, right? And capitalism and imperialism, and a total lack of respect of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, what does it take? Like, I always wonder, do these people go home at night? Like, does the pilot of that plane go home at night and sleep?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. There's so many people involved in the process at every point, right? Like people, they go through special, parts of the airport, right? Like, all these people that are involved, to your point, at every step of the way, seeing these people be mistreated, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know if they go to sleep. I don't know, what their inner kind of like morality or moral kind of compass, how that affects them, right? But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they just see themselves like doing a job, right? Or cogging a wheel, or very disconnected. Like, I'm just doing this flight, as this like capitalism like encourages, right? Like encourages like this individualism, and like, if I can't, whatever I can do, I got to do it from like my own particular position as an individual, right? Not as like an organized, because to your point, right, what would it look like if all the people that could, fly that plane, or at least all the civilian people that could fly that plane, got together, so like, we're not going to do that? I don't know, what would that look like, right? But I don't, that has to be organized, right? And I don't know, that sector is not organized in that way to be
Right. And this is the secondary question that also, I agree, Chirimancha, like, what's the rationale for not returning them to their countries of origin versus an ocean away? And again, like, all I can think is there is some financial benefit, right? Because you would think that if the goal, and this is where people have to really just be clear, like, if the goal was really that as a nation, the United States of America did not want to house people from other countries who were quote unquote criminals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say that's actually the goal, right? Mm-hmm. Then you would be sending people from the DRC back to the DRC, right? Mm-hmm. Like, where are they sending the people from the DRC if the plane going to the DRC is filled with people from South America? And I don't laugh to be, I just, like, the whole thing is so absurd when you really contemplate what they're doing and the real cruelty of it all. Because how are these people supposed, like, what happens now? And who's tracking this? And
Yes. All of these very legitimate, very reasonable questions, right, that you're asking. I just wanted to clarify, well, not clarify, add. Once in Congo, the deportees were told that they had been granted a 7-day visa, allowing them to move freely in the country, which could be extended for up to 3 months, the Colombian migrant said. So they get a 7-day visa. Who knows what assistance they get or not, right, in terms of like extending that. This is ridiculous. And to your point, right, like, it's just cruelty. Like, I don't know, like, cruelty, it really, what it is human trafficking, right? And like, just like everything else, right, when you're a part of the state, when you're doing something as a part of the state, if you're a cop, if you're in the military, right, you murder someone, it's not murder, you're just doing what the state, or you're serving the state, right? Or you're doing law enforcement, quote unquote, or you're bringing stability to the world, quote unquote, right? It's just, you're just murdering people, right? And you're giving legitimacy by the state. This is just human trafficking. Like, I don't this is indistinguishable to me from human trafficking, other than it's state to state. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, like, I don't.
And then what happens at like I'm very curious as to what is happening during these 7 days. At the end of these 7 days, is anyone going to even know where any of these 16 people are? As we've learned, very few of the people who are being deported have been accused of any quote unquote crimes. Like, it has nothing to do with that. So, these are the things that I wish I had the ability to do more with trying to understand what is actually happening with these situations, because just like Chirimacha and a bunch of other people in chat have said, like, there's definitely something else going on here, right? That we don't have any full clarity on. And I saw Leah's in the chat talking about Ecuador. And it's interesting because Ecuador is one of the countries that gets talked about a lot in this book, right? That I just finished, the Economic Hitman book, because at the point when Ecuador's president was actually trying to move Ecuador towards a more nationalist society, socialism, in which they were going to take care of their own people, if I remember correctly, that was one of the planes that got bombed, and the president was killed,
right?
Because he refused to go along with the U.S. plan, and they just installed a puppet. And this is what happens in so many places that gets us to now, right? Like now a situation where you have all of these things happening, and our media sucks. So there's no way to fully track and figure out like what is happening. Like you really have, like I'd have to fall down the rabbit hole of trying to find one of these attorneys to see if they'd be willing to like to stay in touch with me with along every step of the way to figure out what's going on. But these are 16 people of hundreds that this has happened to already. Like this is not the first plane, right? Like there was a plane that showed up. There was another, maybe Nigeria. No, not Nigeria. I can't even remember. But there was another plane that landed in somewhere in Africa like a couple of months ago, filled with people, right? They're sending Palestinians on secret planes back to Israel. Isn't real, right? So these are things that are actually like currently ongoing,
right?
And I'd like to point out, you know, for all that, you know, we complain about right now, like ICE Air is not new. ICE Air did not start with this second Trump administration. ICE Air has been in existence for decades. So this is not new. It's just now people are actually noticing that it's happening. And fair enough, like also like now it's likely that things are, you know, it's being done in this really in your face way, but I would never know whether or not there have been previous arrangements with countries to just ship people where they didn't come from and drop them off in a foreign country. But
yeah, and the Western imperialist, you know, media ecosystem, right, that we are, you know, so often exposed to, like, it's not gonna, if it even tells you this, it's not gonna make those connections, right?
No.
But you're, you know, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, and this is, you know, U.S. imperialism is at play here, obviously, right? That's like the primary contradiction causing all of this, right? Causing the instability that exists in this country in the first place, and then the instability that, you know, that drove the migrants from those countries to come to the U.S. in the first place, right? And now is continuing to perpetuate the problem by sending these people who do not speak the language again, you know, to DRC, right? To, you know, with 7 days grace period or whatever the hell they're giving them, right? It's also worth noting that this follows the signing of a strategic partnership granting the United States preferential access to Congo's critical minerals, right? So again, this is about, you know, for the neocolonial ruling class in Congo, it's about, you know, maintaining their power, wealth, and influence, right? For the U.S. empire, right? It's about expelling, right, these you know, unwanted populations, one, but also about preserving, right, this ability to get these critical minerals, right, like, and maintain this relationship. And I'm sure, you know, there are organizations on the ground in Congo that are getting paid, you know, for these people to come here and to come there and all that other stuff. So yeah, it takes a lot of detangling to get to the bottom of it, but, you know, we know the U.S. imperialism is at the core of it. Okay, and then just shout out to this piece. I think maybe Ricky will share the link, right? But Ricky's saying Cloud and I wrote a piece called Prison Imperialism for Bar that speaks to this. Okay, so we can also check that out.
So what? Yeah, I just I'm home now, so I just got the I just got the list, and
You see the list though, right?
yeah, the list is crazy. But do you want to talk about the data centers? Because
Let's do that.
this
Let's do
is
that.
something that I for me specifically is of interest, and
Yeah.
we've been talking with Andy. Oh my goodness, why did I just blank on Andy's last name? Running in Maryland for governor.
Oh, what is his name? I know you're talking about. I can't.
I'm sorry, Andy. Andy's gonna watch this later and be like, "How did you forget my last
You'd be
name?"
so hurt.
But at least I didn't forget his first name, so I feel like that.
And we all know who it is. We all know who it is, right?
So,
but
yeah. So we've been talking with Andy to bring him back.
Andy Ellis.
Ellis, thank you.
Shout out to Leah, man. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Leah.
Ooh. Lord.
Random. I'm sorry. Random, Renee. I don't know if I shared this, but shout out to Leah. Leah came to the People's Pan African Wellness Front and table with me a couple of weeks ago. That was awesome. But I did not know that Leah and I are connected in like the martial arts community in DC. Like random. But shout out to her. That was awesome. Okay.
Look, every time I discover that I have like a random connection to somebody that I wasn't really expecting to have, I'm reminded of how, the world is not small, but it is.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes. Especially if you get into like some of these like little cross sections of like, oh, you're black and you do martial arts and you're, you know what I mean? Like it's just like
right.
So smaller. Oh, Leah, she'll be there again this weekend. That's awesome. Okay. Data centers. Data centers are expensive, unpopular, and could be a tipping point in the midterms. That town that y'all have been talking about, Renee, was featured in this article, by the way. And I did.
With the one that stopped it. Well, not stopped it, but Festus. They voted out Festus. Yes.
Festus. So a couple of things. So I have some notes on the side, so I'm just going back and forth. Sorry. I'm going to read this intro and then I'll go to my notes. But 15 minutes after Susan Bourgeois, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce her name, Bourgeois was appointed to lead Louisiana's economic development, the state agency responsible for strengthening business growth. She got her first data center pitch. I was pulled aside in the lobby of the Hilton Hotel by CEO of Entergy, Louisiana, who said, "We have a project and we need to talk," Bourgeois said. It was a proposal from Meta to build one of the largest ever AI data centers in the world. Bourgeois jumped on it. Data centers, which are large warehouses full of servers that power parts of the internet and increasingly artificial intelligence, infuse massive amounts of capital into communities and are much needed in rural areas where populations are declining. She said, right? So this is not our position. This is what she is saying. Her understanding of data centers is. So that's just like the grounding for this, right? But then it goes into all the kind of elements, right, of these data centers. Points out the fact that there's like been no meaningful legislation at the federal level, right? So these states are kind of like trying to figure it out on their own. And it's become a kind of a wild west situation, right? Because they're all coming up with their own different, different ways to approach this. But important to note, and this is, let me see if it's here. I'm going to come back to this map. Here, this part. Since Meta began construction on the data center in Louisiana, residents have complained that their water is brown or like rust. It smells like disinfectant. Many people in town now drink only bottled water, right? So this is what has happened, in addition to all the noise, power demands, pollution, unsustainable water, all that stuff, like in terms of specifically in this case, that is what they're experiencing after this data center had been built. And want to go to this map, right? Because this map, you can see it here. So this is a map of the nationwide data center boom by congressional district, right? Renee's doppelganger made this map probably. Facilities are expanding nationwide, cutting across Democratic and Republican congressional districts alike. The height of each spike corresponds to the number of data centers in that district. So these are the operational ones, right? These are the ones that already exist. And these are the planned ones. Oh, no, I'm sorry. These are the planned ones. I'm sorry. These are the operational ones right here. As you can see, these are the planned ones. And I wanted to point out Northern Virginia, right, which is America's data center alley. So we're in the DMV, right? And we're directly going to experience the outfall of all these data centers in this area. and probably a lot of people can guess, right, why they would be in this area. But, you know, long story short, it's a military industrial complex, right? There's a lot of, there's a lot of reasons, and like there's a lot of material history, right, that goes into why that area is so prominent in this way. But it boils down to that, right? Apparently there's unparalleled connectivity in that area, right? Ashburn sits atop the densest intersection of fiber optic cables in the world. Early internet development, ARPANET, in the region created a robust backbone, which expanded into to include major undersea cable connections passing through Virginia Beach, right? So there's just a lot, over time, there's just a lot of infrastructure that's been built upon this area because of the way in which the government has been involved in the development of the internet. No surprise to anybody here, right? Also, there's low cost and reliable power. Dominion Energy, is another one that we've heard about before, provides reliable, high volume power at rates competitive with or lower than national average. Of course, tax incentives and business friendly policies, and strategic location and safety. The region offers a low risk environment for natural disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, protecting critical infrastructure while being close to the government and financial hub of Washington, D.C. So that was like the place I wanted to get to, because that is a big reason why it's like clustered in this area. But yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you go back to the operational?
Yeah.
Like
operational.
I don't know, why didn't they do like a merged map so people could understand? Like, because when you go, if you're not real, these are the things that annoy me about news media people, right? So when you open the page, it takes you to the planned map, right? Which does not look as bad because they're the planned ones, right? And then there's no way to see what this looks like if all the planned ones actually open.
I see what you're saying.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think gets missed a lot when people, with the way these stories are done, is people are unable to see the convergence of the things, right? So like they can't see, like that spike for current in Northern Virginia is totally out of control. And that there's an even larger spike. There's like another spike that's almost as big, right? Like it's almost as big. And that's being planned.
Yeah.
And so people don't.
Here we go. 293 now. Planned, it's an additional 154. Planned.
Which is crazy. Yeah. So if you scroll down, there is a data chart that shows like the actual numbers. And for a second, like I was like, wait, what does this number mean? Right? Like it took me a second to understand that there are already 200 and some, like where are there 293? Like what are these? Because they're not they can't be massive buildings. They can't be 100,000 acre buildings if there are 293 of them, right? They have to be smaller ones.
So another element to it being in Virginia and particularly Ashburn, like that area, available land and expertise was also came up. So there's abundant land, previously horse farms, allow for rapid development, supported by a skilled workforce, expert construction, blah, blah, blah. So like there was, to your point, right, there was a lot of land that they were able to kind of take advantage of.
I am curious on the acreage total of those 253. Like I want to know how much land is in Virginia. Like if you do like the state of Virginia is this big. And I want to know how much of that land is eaten up by data. See, this is the part. So Chirimacha said they're buildings that look like regular office buildings from the outside, but are full of nothing but rooms and cables. And so this is the thing that I think people don't understand. Like I think people think of data centers and in their head, they're thinking of these massive buildings or these massive spaces that take up a lot of acreage and a lot of room and all these things. And they're not understanding the equal detriment of a smaller building that does the very same thing within a community. It's still sucking up the land, sucking up the water, sucking up the, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all very problematic. And this was my argument with people who used to come for me about the Cop City map.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, why do you have this like rural town that's going from, a small building to 3? And I'm like, because it's all eating resource. It doesn't matter if it's eating a smaller amount of resource or a smaller amount of land or it's eating of resources that most communities cannot afford for these resources to be eaten up. Right. And if folks are listening when Dwayne Monroe does shows, and I haven't gotten a chance to go back to listen to what he just did with millennials the other day, but I'm sure it's brilliance as usual. But AI is like, it's all like this facade, like it's this bubble that they're just eating up all these resources for, that at some point the bubble is going to burst. And then you're going to have all these buildings that do what? Maybe Air Doctor has an answer. What do you think?
Air Doctor, explain it to us.
Listen, I would go after these malls that Amazon and Temu put out of business. They just, nothing's there. It's big ass malls. Just
wait, are you saying this is what they should? Air Doctor, for us. Not stop advocating for the devil.
Oh, I mean, you asked what I would do if I was.
I can't stand you. I really can't. I can't stand you.
I mean, I'm just saying, look towards them coming at different spots like malls that have these data centers and stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
Look how y'all just take me all out of context. Boy, I tell you, boy.
I was confused.
I'm on Team Liberation here, in case y'all didn't know. I've been doing this for years. You know what I'm saying?
We know. You're just so good. You're just so good at the advocacy for the other side. It gets confusing.
Yeah. I mean, I could really see that because you got all these malls that's out of business right now, and you need space. Where can you go? Bam. I mean, really, like these malls need to be turned into places where they can house homeless people and get jobs and stuff like that. But what do I know? Anyway, I just had to go run and take the garbage out. So y'all sound like y'all was talking about some good stuff, though. Hey, you remember I told you I was working on some art, Evan?
Oh my God!
Here's my artwork. Check this out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that? Did you use that colored pencil?
Those are oil pastels. I took my kids to the art store and was like, let's try a different medium. And my son was like, oil pastels. I was like, all right, let's go. So it's different because how the oil. So next time I do it, I know how to do it right, so it's not bleeding into the other oil. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be not bad, Monty. No, very good. Stop playing.
And you did that yourself. You didn't have any help from any of your children, right?
Wow.
I just want to clarify.
Do I need to pull out some more of my artwork? I'm an artiste, Evan.
I believe you.
Artiste.
I believe you.
Let's get it straight. Artists in music, artists on canvas. There's not too many things I can't do, Evan.
Really. What is it?
Multi everything. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
I do it all. You know what it is? I've never been scared to fail. So I just do it. All right, what are we doing? Okay, I guess
I was gonna say, are you gonna give us a little break?
Oh yeah, I'll let y'all use the bathroom and stuff. So we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back right here on no other than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah. Time for a remix on the remix. Let's get it.
When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a girl who's as sweet as a dove. For the first time in my life, I see I need love. There I was, giggling about the games that I had played with many hearts, and I'm not saying no names. Then the thought occurred, teardrops made my eyes burn, as I said to myself, look what you've done to her. I can feel it inside, I can't explain how it feels. All I know is that I'll never dish another raw deal, playing make-believe, pretending that I'm true. Holding in my laugh as I say that I love you, saying I'm more, kissing you on the ear, whispering I love you and I'll always be here. Although I often reminisce, I can't believe that I found a desire for true love floating around inside my soul, because my soul is cold. One half of me deserves to be this way till I'm old, but the other half needs affection and joy, and the warmth that is created by a girl and a boy. I need love.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you to the year of 1987 with the man them called LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool James off that album Bigger and Deffer. Yes, the name of that song is I Need Love, one of the first R&B hip-hop songs to come out. All right, with that said, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare, donate where at blkliberationmedia.org. Go over there and get you some swag, get you a fresh hoodie or a fresh t-shirt. It's summertime, y'all. You gotta look good, so why not get you a shirt and do that? All right, that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Here, Doctor on the beat. Let's go. Yeah.
Very nice little mix.
All right.
Real quick, I know we mentioned an article that Erica and Cloud wrote, so I just want to, I'll put that link in our chat if y'all can put it in the main one, and then just show it real quick. So
what are you talking about?
Sorry, when we were talking about prisons, my bad. We were talking about prisons earlier. Erica mentioned an article that her and Cloud wrote, so I just wanted to lift that up because it touches on a lot of the things that we were mentioning about prison imperialism, et cetera, et cetera. Prison imperialism, a critical examination of Bukele's deal with the U.S., right? So this talks about like C-dot or C-cot. I can't remember. But this mega prison, right, in Ecuador, and all of those connections. So check this article out. Just wanted to reference that because I know it came up in the conversation.
Okay.
Also, Erica was killing me in the chat. I did not realize that she would make all these comments when I mentioned martial arts.
Well, a lot of people want to know what kind of martial arts you participate in, which I feel like you've talked about before. So,
yeah. I've been doing martial arts my whole life. Started with kung fu and karate when I was younger. Both of my instructors when I was young were Black men, right? Which is how the connection through kung fu with Leah came about. Crazy. Did like martial arts on and off my whole life. And then when I got to, junior, senior at college, started doing Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Have stuck with those more or less. I prefer striking, so I can do a lot more Muay Thai and kickboxing. I know Carlos is in the chat from Deculturation. He always talks about this, but yeah, sparring is also kind of my therapy and like just going there, doing some hard sparring with people. Like you can't hold on to whatever was bothering you before. It will be resolved training. So looking for a place, the other piece is that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and particularly MMA gyms are highly, highly reactionary, broadly speaking. You go into these gyms, you'll see a thin blue line flag. You might see an Israeli flag because they have Krav Maga in the corner or something like that. So it is very hard to find space. Some of these places have cop nights, right? Where they'll have cops come train, right? Very hard to find a space, to train with our politics. But so I do want to shout out High Style in DC. That's a place I recently found. I knew about it for years. Some dudes I used to train with started that gym precisely because of this issue of needing a space for people of, our politics to come and train, do self-defense, be safe, and not be around pigs. So yeah, shout out to them. Looking for more. I need to get. I'm super out of shape, and
I like to go in there with them pigs to spar.
I mean, listen.
Hey, listen. When I come up there, we're gonna go spar. Evan, for real. I come from Tang Soo Do, Master Steve Chambliss, another black brother. Yes.
Okay.
You know, yes. It was a fly the other day, and my friend was like, "Yo," and I was like, and I was like, "Damn, this fly was out." But anyway.
Can't argue with it, right? Can't argue with the skills. Yeah, man. So yeah, there's a lot there. Maybe that can be a whole other thing. Really, I'm not hoarding my skills. I am out of shape, but I will once I get back into it, we can start doing like self-defense class or something like that. But again, High Style is covering that. So shout out to them. Yeah. I don't know what else. I don't know what else I was missing.
That was a good one.
This is hilarious. I really miss. I remember we had this was before I was even here, but back when it was Black Power Media, right? We had who was doing the self-defense like show or what have you? I can't remember.
That was oh my goodness. They were on Saturdays after us too.
Yes, I lotally am blanking.
Yeah,
right?
but yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that was a
Balagoon.
Thank you. I thought that was like a dope, just like segment to have on here, and like I think it would be cool to bring something like that back. Because I do feel like that is warrior class. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot about that, right? Like I think that there's a way in which, broadly speaking, self-defense classes are very much geared toward this kind of like a very reactionary or just incorrect ideas of how violence occurs in people's lives, right? Like there's this like fantastical image of like, yeah, you're walking down a dark alley and somebody comes out that you have no idea, you don't know, and then you were able to kind of deal with them and fight them and beat them, right? And then like, like there's this like this fantasy, right, that is like perpetuated in these spaces. Do not address the fact that like most intercommunal violence is happening within people, somebody right? To get more to this femicide thing that has been going on, right? That we've been talking about a lot on this channel. Convince people, right, that like the idea in that situation is to like beat the person as opposed to getting away, right? Use whatever your techniques are to create space and to get away from that person, right? As opposed to like trying to beat them, like, so there's a lot of like nonsense, right, that that like is like brought into these that is like perpetuated in these spaces because it's fundamentally coming from like a wrong or reactionary kind of idea of what self-defense is and should be. And it's also not communal, right? It's just individualistic. So there's like that other element. But yeah, there's like a lot of there's a lot of nonsense, right? So you got to parse through it, and it's hard to find like spaces where people are actually approaching this in the way that makes sense.
Well, I mean, I guess something that you could consider, young Evan. I mean, there is such a thing as recording, and like you could do like a drop in the channel like once a month or something, like a pre-recorded conversation about these things. I actually think it would be I think it would be welcomed, to be honest. Like I wouldn't mind learning some of the history. Like if you had asked me about that, I would have no idea that there was a whole like Black contingent. Right. Oh
yeah.
This is coming from someone whose stepson does Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like he's actually like a professional fighter. Like right? Like, and I just, he did boxing as a kid, and so like for him it was like a natural progression to something else.
For sure.
And so I think it would be interesting, and it doesn't necessarily have to be even about teaching physical skills as much as maybe debunking some of those misunderstood histories, some of like the lack of connection between the continent and now. Like there's probably a lot of things that you could do with this that you haven't even contemplated that I'm now
Sure.
putting in your head grasshopper. So,
And I mean, even when you look at capoeira, you know, when you talk about that, when the Maroons use that to drive out the Europeans and take over the mountains and at different spots, they use that style. And if you really want to get into it, like this guy right here,
survival training. I'm going to share with you what to do if
Oh,
attack you. They come at you. What you don't want to do is try to stay in the middle like you're in a
Don't do that.
karate movie, working in a circle, trying to block, trying to hit. That's not going to work. So they try to grab
What
and
should
they
you
try
do?
to attack you, and you try to back up. This is what's going to happen. As you try to back up, you're going to get swarmed, and you're still going to be
Pretty
dominated,
much.
and you're going to lose.
So what should you do?
What you should do is this.
Run, nigga, run. There's no stay there and just run in a circle.
And as you can see, when you move in a circle around the crowd, you're able to.
Run. That's what you do. That's what I did one time. We was in Mooresville, PA, and these dudes tried to jump me and my brother. We ran and made it to see another day. We wasn't
just
running in no circle.
I know this dude. I know his content. I don't know him, right? But I'm familiar with his content. Nonsense. First off, why are you in that situation to begin with? Why are you surrounded by 8 people? You're like, how have you gotten in this situation? For like, you know what I'm saying? Because
it happens.
Sorry. Any good martial arts instructor, self-defense instructor will tell you, like, your first weapon is like de-escalation, right? Is to talk your way out of the situation, to like figure out a resolve verbally, right? To back away, to like not get into that situation right there. So they create these fantastical situations like, oh, what do you do if you're surrounded by 8 people, right? Like in an action movie, what do I do, right? And it's like, well, how'd you get there in the first place? To your point, your doctor, when he then does his thing, right? Yeah, you should get out of the middle of those people, but I'm not doing it to circle so I can pick them by one. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's just so, it's so frustrating, right? But people, you know, there was an episode, I don't know if it's Saturdays or what happened. It was an episode Jared did with somebody who was talking about like the deep cultural links between like, you know, due to martial arts between like East Asia and like the Black, you know, the internal Black colony here in the United States, honestly. Talking about like Hollywood and all this other stuff, right? But like those connections are very real, right? And yeah, I think that, to Renee's point, there's like a lot to explore there, but like I do believe like that's also part of the explosion of popularity of martial arts in our community. But like this stuff, right? Like what becomes the most popular and like what people are most drawn to is like the most spectacular stuff, like what you just showed, and that is going to get you in trouble. Like that is going to get you hurt, right? Like that type of like full, like all of it from top to bottom. Yeah. Man, anyway,
just be like my sister and pack the gat in your purse, ladies. That's all.
Just like Elon said, shout out to Comrade Nathan from High Style, right? That is a comrade that's been organizing people. Also from TG Hamilton's 1079, my teacher trade Dennis Brown, Shaolin Wushu Center. He's one of the first black belts in Kung Fu. This was also Dennis Brown was also my instructor when I was a little kid. So yeah, man, like there's a lot of connections and stuff like that. Renee, you're absolutely right. I think, you know, there could be some thoughts. I mean, I'll talk to Nathan about it or something like that. But yeah, I think there could be like use, and also like this could be like a cross stream, because Carlos very clearly trains, you know, understands stuff like as well. So like then we could have like a group of us who train and stuff like that and have our politics to kind of like talk about some of this stuff.
All right, nice Kung Fu segment.
Anyway, I can't.
He does it on purpose.
He does it on purpose, and we just can't take the bait. Unfortunately, tragically, right? I think this does take us to a real story, right, about how violence really occurs, right, in our communities. So yeah, I do want to do this thing about this piece of shit, David. You want to do this?
Sure, let's go for it.
Trigger warning, y'all. More femicide. Just, you know, prepare yourselves. Okay, here we are. Oh, here we are. Okay. So this is the story. Prosecutors say singer David, it's pronounced David, sexually abused a teen for months before killing her. What we know about the case against him. I heard about this in passing on social media. And my partner brought it to my attention because I did not know who this guy was, this artist. I only heard about him through this case because this 14-year-old girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, was found in the trunk of this man's car, dismembered and decomposing. The car had been parked near a house where he was living in the Hollywood Hills. So it was like parked and abandoned there. Eventually was towed into a junkyard or tow yard or whatever. And then people began to notice a smell and an investigation ensued. Sorry. So he's been pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder, charged to carries possible sentence of death or life in prison. She was found abandoned in his Tesla. Yeah, this is a rough story. I'm trying to just pick out some of the other things that I noticed. His real legal name is David Anthony Burke, right? Know this asshole's name. He also has lawyers. Uncoincidentally, has a high-powered law firm that has represented Harvey Weinstein, Kanye West, and Britney Spears, among other notable celebrities. And important to note that because there was so much time between when this child, Celeste, was murdered, and when they found her, they were a little unable. It was difficult to determine like the time of death. But when she was found, David was on tour in Minneapolis during his world tour, promoting his debut album, Withered. And that part stood out to me because something that I remember that was really disturbing about this case is that his music is very like creepy and kind of feels like it references some of this stuff and potentially references his murder of this girl. So that I remember the Withered thing stood out to me because I remember that piece, but when I first heard about it, and of course he's saying that he's not guilty, but right, like he was charged first-degree murder with special circumstances, right, which was continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14 years old and mutilating human remains, right? But there's social media evidence of a long history of this girl interacting with him, being backstage at his concerts, right, being with him or doing lives with him, right? So he's very clearly like grooming this girl, this child, right? Her family reported her missing several times, trying to get a hold of her. This fucking scumbag. I think those were like the main pieces of this case. She was known to be alive when her family was looking for her. So after the first missing persons thing, like she was definitely alive at least a year after that. But a lot of this stuff of like them interacting virtually has come out, and sorry, I'm just scrolling through this trying to find some other pieces. But Renee, I don't know if you have anything you want to share.
So no, I mean, I know that and somebody mentioned it in the chat that Tondi Amber and Zenzi have been talking about this. And talking about this general landscape of misogyny that we're living in right now. And, not that it's new, right? But this, that it's also now become like the selling of this type of life of abusing women has become part of the capitalist landscape, right? Like it's become a thing that people are making money off of, you know what I mean? Like it's become part of, I don't even know like how to voice it properly. And I guess for me, you know, what this actually triggered me to think of was R. Kelly, to be honest. And the families who were saying like, my daughter has disappeared, like I can't get hold of her, you know. So this ongoing trafficking that happens, right? Because it's all deeply disturbing behavior based on the sick machinations of a society that's built on this idea that as like men, you're allowed to do whatever you want to women, and there's no check, there's no boundary, there's no like there's not like it's just so pervasive, the entire thing. So I don't know, this is all. And he's still free? Is he still?
No, he's I think he's locked up right now awaiting trial, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I mean, not that the system works and not that I believe in
right
jails, but
if it worked, the missing persons report, like this would never have happened, right? Like if it were, like, to be clear, right? When we talk about how these structures of state violence do not protect us, this is part of that, right? Like all these pigs are good for is coming and arresting somebody after the fact, right? But when you are looking for your child, she was 13 years old when this started. When you look for your child, they can't help you, you know. I don't know. Yeah, man. So yeah.
And I hear you say capitalism, Renee. I would say just this culture, even with the mass shooting in Louisiana with the guy that shot 8 kids or something like that.
Yeah, and 7 of them were his own children.
Jesus, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So would you think it's because he wasn't? I mean, that's really just. I don't know if that got to do with capitalism. It might be because he wasn't making money or something. And he just wilded out.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that the public facing selling of the manosphere, selling of what's being a man, selling of abusing women, like it has emboldened a lot of this, in my opinion, because now you have people who literally run channels that are all about shitting on women and they're making money doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's become now like this front facing popular thing, right? Like to sell these theories and to sell this behavior and to make money off of selling this behavior. That's the part of it that I was talking about.
Like a Corey Holcomb or something like that.
I don't know
he's always he has a podcast. He always disrespecting women and stuff.
Oh,
like
okay. Then yes.
Yeah. I mean, so yes to everything Renee said, and also, right, like I think we get caught up when we think about capitalism just being about money, right? But like that is a political economic system which everything is based off of, right? And it's really about commodification, right? You know, commodification of like the planet, of natural resources, commodification of individuals, of our labor, right? And of people, of like little human beings. And the culture, right? The superstructure is built upon that, you know? So, you know, it isn't that, you know, this man who murdered his children, right, is like, you know, hard pressed for money, so he does this thing, right? It is that this man was brought up in a patriarchal, imperialist society, capitalist society, that in every way, shape, and form told him that women and children were property, right? Belonged to him, right? He could do, and therefore he could do whatever he wanted with them, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm like, we need to kind of like understand the way that like this political economy, right? This base, right, creates this superstructure, right? That all these things flow out of, right? This culture of patriarchy and misogyny and all this stuff, like the culture that would allow for a manosphere to be created and the people to make money off of that, right? A culture that would create a situation where you have all of these Black and brown women being murdered, and all motherfucker can say is, "Damn, I'm sorry that man was going through that shit," you know? And like he must have, you know, his mental health, Black men's mental health is important. Come on, son. Like, what are we talking about, right? Like, but you have that superstructure is based off of this political economy that like produces that, right? And like we need to understand how those things are related and how one influences the other.
Mm-hmm. That's why we as organizations like this weekend got to grab a room full of these young boys and teach them a different way, show them how to love, how to be loved, and how to express it. And yeah, get away from this crazy culture. Whew.
Yes, we do need a revolutionary culture that counteracts all of this, and we also just need to get rid of the structure that produces it. So, you know,
thanks.
Straight up. Okay.
So someone brought up in the chat this Grape Academy thing that I think is actually on our run sheet.
It is.
It is, right?
It is. I'll pull it up. This madness, man. I remember hearing about this too a while back. I had no idea it was so extensive though. Jeez, it's gonna be a rough morning. Okay. All right. I'm pulling it up now.
Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare.
Because you do it so fast, man. Oh yeah, I just before we go into this, I just want to point out, like, yeah, this is exactly what Ricky was saying it, but look at how 150 little girls can be bombed is the same violent political economy. It doesn't exist in a vacuum, which is the importance of emphasizing ethics. Yeah, true. But yeah, this is not happening in a vacuum, and this is why this violence is connected, right? This violence of anyway, all that stuff. Oh, actually, I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Apologies. Give me 1 second.
No worries. These, this is the stuff, and yes, Ricky is 100% right, and it's also why you have out of however many hundreds of thousands of millions of files that describe how rich and politically inclined and media like all these people are involved in a straight up child like trafficking circle, and all people can talk about is, oh, look at the emails, and no one's interested in actually trying to determine what allows something like this happen. No one is talking about the connection and the ability for these men with their money to be able to have this ongoing for decades. Right? Like, but okay, sorry.
No, that's real. That's real. All right. Are we supposed to say grape? Is that what Grape Academy shows why so many women are right to fear men? That fear men thing. I remember that like social media thing of talking about like, would you rather be with a man or a bear? And all so many women were like, I'll take the bear. And all these men got butthurt about it. This is the shit. This is the shit, man. Anyway. All right. So, warning, this commentary refers to references sexual assault and may be triggering to survivors. Okay. Okay. There are days when you come upon something that shakes you to your core, a reality that is so antithetical to humanity, so sickening in its perversion that you feel your guts twisting around themselves, your face heating, your blood pressure skyrocketing. I'm still not sure how to process this, but I'm trying. But it's something that, as a man, I know has to be reckoned with. CNN has exposed the existence of what they describe as a massive online Grape Academy where men from around the world gather on group chats and message boards to encourage and celebrate the drugging, recording, and sexual assault of their wives and partners for the pleasure of other similarly depraved men. They describe a sprawling virtual horrorscape filled with husbands, partners, fiancés, and boyfriends violating the bodies, the trust, and the privacy of the women they share a home, a family, and a bed with. These sites sit under the ghastly umbrella of what is termed, quote, sleep content, end quote, featuring the abuse of sleep or medically incapacitated women, with hundreds of thousands of posts dedicated to the procurement and administering of drugs, enabling these unthinkable acts. Just one of the websites, which draws primarily from an American audience, received 62 million views in a single month this year alone. 62 million views in a single month this year alone. Yeah. That's
so just so people understand. So part of this came out because there was a case, was it France, where he was drugging his wife
I think so.
and allowing other men to come in and have sex with her. And so if I remember correctly, this started to come out because of that particular case, because it was being recorded. She said she had no idea what was happening. And so they've traced now to this underground community. Now, of course, because it's this underground community, these things would be very difficult, I would imagine, to fully and clearly report on, because that's in some ways part of what is, when these are your fetishes, this is what you enjoy about the internet, right? The anonymity of it all. And so but I think it would be pretty hard to pretend as if this reality of men drugging women in order to take advantage of them in sexual ways, right? Like, this is not new. This is not some like unheard of thing that that has never happened. Like, now all of a sudden, like, oh, now we're talking about these, that like these are things that have been happening forever and a day. You know what I mean? And the ability for within a home for this type of incident to happen between a husband and wife is also not new, right? And it all boils back again to the system in which this patriarchal system in which we live, in which men are taught that they are the king of the home, the king of the castle. The wife is there to, deal with his inclinations and should do whatever he wants. And it's not her choice to say no. They're married, right? So this is all part of that same problem.
I even look at how porn is like shown nowadays. It's always guys strangling women, a group ganged up on women, strangling them, slapping them, and it's just like, oh, this is how you do it. This is what they like. Like, this is what's being taught even through porn. Like, this is what they like. This is how you treat them. It's wild out there. We just need to buy a bunch of these guys some damn blow up dolls and let them do their thing. I don't, because it has to be a whole new way of teaching. How do we do this? Because what's happening is I don't like this method of dividing community, because it's definitely dividing us as a people. And as you said, it's just sickening, and it's being taught more and more. And like, this is the cool thing to do.
I don't think I understand that comment. I'm sorry. The dividing the community, and I'm not saying that I know you didn't make your doctor. I'm just saying I don't know.
Well, it's a lot of times when it's dividing us as men and women. Like, we're not, like she says, she'd rather be with a bear than a man.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was just struggling with that because, yes, you're right. The prevalence of this violence in our community, especially this type of violence, this type of like sexual violence in our community, absolutely is destructive, like internally to like the broader whole. And I don't want to make it seem as though this is something that's happening externally, right? Like, this is violence that men are perpetrating against, not just like
they're using force and power. They know they're stronger, and they doing some crazy shit, even mentally. Like, what going back to what Renee says when it's talking about capitalism, it's like, I make the money, I make the rules type shit. This is my house, and this is how it's gonna go. And it's like almost like an indentured slavery, like being married now.
I mean, yeah, and that is what marriage is, right? In this capitalist colonialist like context. But it is, and I'm seeing in the chat, right? Like this is normalized, right? Like you mentioned through porn, right? But like you don't have to get to porn to have this be normalized for you, right? Like the casual violence and disrespect of women and children, right? Like and girls, right? In particular, like this is that is suffused within our society, and and I think what stood out to me is just like the massive piece, like how prevalent and prominent this is. And think Ricky said it because I'm not super hip. I need to do more research on this, right? That's the first time I saw the number, about 60 million views, right? But Ricky was in the chat saying the first time she heard it, she thought it had said 62 million people, individuals were a part of the group, right? Which would produce, as we know, a lot more views. So I'm not sure about that, but I mean, regardless, right? Like it's a massive population, right? And that is being reinforced, right, through a culture that normalizes this type of violence, either media, music. Yeah.
I mean, slap that trick. Got a Grammy. It's hard out here for a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. These are stuff that's getting awarded, like songs with this content. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's real.
I'm ready to go. I'm giving this place like 5 more years. And
You said 5 more years. Can we? Wait, Doc.
He's just like, I'm done.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you do a quick break?
Sure. Why not? I think I got something.
I need a minute. Thank you.
You need a minute. I ain't even mad at you. I got you. Bidak. I got your back, my sister. Always have, always will. You know what I'm saying? I was never seen violence in the home, which I'm blessed. And therefore, my kids have never seen me raise my voice at their mom, put my hand on them. So we got to continue this. We got to teach the youth. All right. With that said, let's take a quick break right here on No Other Than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah. Welcome out, y'all, to the Remix Morning Show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. Donate where blkliberationmedia.org. He's also dropped something right here in the chat room. I haven't seen one person drop anything in the chat room, but y'all can do that too. If y'all really feeling it and y'all want to continue to have media like this and continue to have that real instead of all those other channels that's not giving you the real, continue to help us grow. All right, with that said, we got a bunch of dope shows. One of the shows we have here is called Real Talk. Let's see what the good doctor was talking about on Real Talk, as we talk about history and how it's being erased out of schools in different ways. Check this out.
In the University of Texas at Austin, their PhD granting African American and African diaspora department has been terminated. What's the status of Latinx studies units around the country?
It's an interesting phenomenon because the power of departments was the sovereignty the departments had to create knowledge on the basis of things that mattered to that community, right? The knowledge wasn't simply knowledge for the sake of knowledge. Knowledge that was created with the use of rediscovering our histories, empowering our people, preparing them, right, to be active agents in constructing their political reality. So
they had to change the world.
And change the world. Departments then constituted those liberated zones within the university. And you know as well as I, our job wasn't simply to do research, teach, right? Our job was to do research, teach, and fight for the preservation of that unit continuously, right?
Ooh, going in. Make sure y'all go check out the last Real Talk that dropped. Is a very, very great topic, especially talking about how they're trying to erase our history out of these schools, take away our safe spaces to learn, and all that. All right, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah. Hey, I wouldn't have made it through college if it wasn't for me picking up African studies. You know what I'm saying? I was first in there for communications, and then I was like, all right, this is cool. But when I started finally having that safe space to really learn about our people, what we've been through. Then I was like, okay, I like this. I could read this, learn it, and regurgitate what I've learned and put it on the papers and pass and make it to the next level while learning and loving myself and my people more. So I appreciate it. And the fact that, you know, DEI and all these different people trying to take this out of schools, learning our history is it's warfare. It really is.
I mean, that's real. I'm glad you had that experience. I'm glad you got that. So many people don't. It is, you know, it is warfare, right? Like we talk about being, you know, colonized, like we're a colonized people here, right? But that shows up in so many different ways. You know what I mean? One of the ways, right, is through our educational system, right? Where we are not taught that we're African, right?
Yeah.
Or we're not taught like that our experience like in history goes beyond supersedes, you know, enslavement. You know, like, and you can look at the way that working class, or rather like Black people, Africans, are spoken about or taught about in school, and compare that to like how working class white people are spoken about and talked about in school, right? Because they're like the movers and shakers, the ones that like make this.
The colonizers. We were so happy. Oh, they came and colonized another place. Look at this, and we learning about it. This is crazy. Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's embedded. Yeah, it's embedded, and we are at war. But unfortunately, right now, as Ricky's pointing out, it's a one-sided war, and we need to be organized if we want to fight back. So we need to get organized.
So with that said, I mean, we really got to figure out ways to teach our youth still, because they're taking it away in these schools and just teaching them how to be employees. Just like, listen, you're going to get on, you're going to be working. You don't need to learn about your history. You only need you learning about revolts and the Maroon Society. They asked the question the other day with all these kids, does anybody know what a Maroon is? None of them knew what a Maroon was. I didn't learn that till I got to college. I was blessed to go to college. So to not have an example of revolution and revolting is making you just be a passive Negro.
Right. And the only reason I knew what Maroons were is because my family's Jamaican. So you can't, like, it's part of the
history.
Discourse in my house is part of the history.
Right. And that was oral history. You didn't learn that in school.
Right? Oh, no. And I also happened upon my African-American studies degree because I was just taking classes. And when I went to declare my major, my advisor was like, you know, you're 3 courses short of a second bachelor's, right? And I was like, nope, didn't know that, but we'll do it. So that's how I ended up with a double bachelor's, is because when I went in to declare my major, I realized that I only needed to take 3 more classes in the AAS department, which Syracuse University is working really hard to try and shut down right now, by the way. So,
Crazy. Man, I gotta get some more after school programs, man. Figure out how to do this. The blessing I did get out of it, especially when you talk about, I was teaching them podcasting, and to be able to have a subject and then be able to talk with the kids about it and then get their feedback, because they get talked to all day in school. They don't get to have a space where they can talk and be like, well, this is what I thought about it. It's just like, no. And then with the subjects they're being taught, they don't even want to raise their hand and talk about it. Like, The fear of being wrong, that's one of them the students are dealing with. It's just wild. So the fact that you can really sit down and have these conversations with them about history is great. So we need to figure out ways to organize and bring these after school programs or something.
No, for sure. For sure.
My bad, Latif. So Latif says, so we're not going to define, just leave us hanging. All of us was born from a Jamaican family, had college of African-American studies. Fair enough. My bad, Latif. I'm sorry. So the Maroons are, and they're not just actually Jamaicans. They're multiple Maroon communities in different areas of the world. But the Maroons were basically the enslaved Africans that, you know, killed off the slave owners and restole or committed to protecting a part of the land for themselves and remained a part of their internal community. So in Jamaica, the area is called Cockpit Country, and it's in, if I'm hoping my geological is correct, I think it's in the northwestern side of the island. They actually had a treaty agreement with Britain. So even though Jamaica was still colonized, the Maroons of Jamaica were allowed their land and remained in control of the land. And to this day, they have their own governmental system. They still maintain the land, although there's a huge, there's a lot happening in Jamaica right now between the Maroons and the island and the asshole prime minister. So there's a lot in there, but I apologize, Lucy, for not recognizing that. Maybe everybody didn't know what a maroon was.
Yeah, it's true. Like even I read about in Suriname, the Maroons, and they would go to the mountains and play so they can be high and see whatever enemies are coming towards them. And one of the Maroons even wound up being a political president or something over there in Suriname. Like the people was like, "Yo, put him in there." So, I mean, it's a beautiful history to learn about. We just are not taught. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
And that history exists all across the diaspora, right? Including here, right? Like, you know, there's Great Dismal Swamp in Virginia, North Carolina, Fort Mose in Florida, Angola, Florida, Louisiana swamps, right? Like there have been historically a lot of those communities, Maroon communities here in the States as well. So,
yeah.
And that's we're not taught, right? Why would you teach them that? Because you want to, want to them.
I think Leah Ball was talking about the Great Dismal Swamp in VA, North Carolina. We talk
about
that.
What was that, your doctor?
The Great Dismal Swamp in VA.
I'm so glad you caught it, Evan. I was sitting here chuckling.
We're gonna keep you honest here, Doc. We're gonna keep you honest over here.
Oh, okay, yeah, with the David Walker appeal and the drums that they use for revolutions and fights in that area.
No. It's because you said dismissal first, and then you caught yourself and corrected it.
Oh yeah. I told you I read fast. A-Rob, Bull City Vanguard sending in $10 to the Baltimoreans in the chat. Brandon Scott will be the guest at the Mayor of Durham's State of the City address tonight during a fireside chat. We need some signs, slogans for the demo in opposition. All right, I read that fast enough, slow enough.
Go.
All right.
Y'all got it. All right. Ricky is killing me in the chat. Every time I look up, I see this message from her. Stop hoarding skills.
Yeah. So here's what I'll tell you what the reason that I suggested to you to do recordings is because it would not require that you be inside. If you recorded doing something out in real life and then brought the recording back to share, then you could actually serve the dual purpose of being outside and doing real things with real people and sharing the knowledge with the channel. So just I don't know how much Brazilian jiu-jitsu you're gonna do like in your room on a like I don't know how much stuff you can really get away with sitting in front of a computer.
Oh man.
Just saying.
No, there are ways to do it. I mean, there's so much content on the there's definitely ways to do it. I think it's just about figuring it out. So
it's really my own selfishness. This is how all the stuff I end up happening because selfishly I want access to something that I don't have access to. And so I don't live in DC. So if you do something where you're giving this type of information in DC, I won't have access to it unless you record it and share it in some other way. And so it's really literally selfishness, like literal selfishness.
Evan, they came up with these little stands that you could put your phone on and you could like put the phone on the stand and then you can like push the button and
that's crazy. I've never heard. What are those called?
Phone stand.
I can't stand him. I just can't stand him.
Oh my
god. So are there any light stories?
Are
there any? Erica, I love Dr. Brown. I love you, but we got to work on at least having like one story that's not like. Although you know what, did you find one? Because we could also do that Harvard story, which is interesting also. But
I know that I was doing the 82 jump rope.
All right, let's go.
Let's do that. That's light. It's Black Girl Magic. It's all that good stuff.
My sister was a double Dutch professional type. Yeah, she was in the paper. Big up to my sister, double Dutch.
I remember being a little kid in my neighborhood and seeing all the older girls like doing that. You know what I'm saying? I was like so impressed. I was like, how y'all?
They be doing this, skin in the rope.
How y'all doing? How y'all get in there? Like what?
Oh boy, that was good. Yeah.
And I saw something recently on social media where there's a woman who was like literally eating a plate of food. She jumped in and she was doing it. She was just eating.
She was eating. Like, she was eating. That's how they do. I mean, hopscotch. You had jacks. You had hide and go seek. You had freeze tag. We was outside, y'all.
That's facts. That's facts. Oh, this lady. 82-year-old jump rope queen of Beverly Hills, Annie Judas, gets a kick out of defying expectations about what the body can do. And here she is, not looking 82 at all. That's hilarious, man. Like, no crap. It was a Wednesday morning in April, and Annie Judas had transformed the kitchen of her Beverly Hills mansion. I didn't know she had a mansion, into a film set with her iPhone balanced on a stand.
Look at that! Look at that! It's called a stand.
I'm so mad. It's also called a tripod, but we're going.
Well,
the 82-year-old adjusted the lighting and smoothed her costume, an aqua spandex workout set that revealed a hint of cleavage, a matching head wrap, and tinted glasses. When it was showtime, her housekeeper, she had a housekeeper. What? I should have read this before.
I'm like, I don't know if I like this story. Why is she living in a mansion in Beverly Hills?
Wait a minute, what she got to be?
What is her story? How'd she get there? What is happening?
She got to be in the ghetto for us to like the story?
There's a clear class element now that I did not realize when I looked at the headline that I feel like we now have to engage. And I just
can we take from this story that the older we get, we need to start concentrating on our health more? I mean, let's take that out of this.
Absolutely. And
who's this white dude filming her? Can we get like what is
that's her pool boy? Right, that's her pool boy.
I was like, yes, it's important to take care of your body, especially as you get older, right? All these things are very important. Yes. And having a mansion, having a staff, having a dietitian, having a chef, having a personal trainer, all of these things make it so much easier to do all of that. So we should not pretend like we're all just like,
you know. Maybe a slave master left her some money or something. Who knows? Or paper. Who knows? But listen, y'all. I look at it like this. I might have like 30 more summers left. You know what I'm saying? I just hit the 50 mark. My thing is, let me start working on not having to go to the hospital. Like, really. That's the thing we need to start really looking at. Because a lot of us is like, well, I'm going to die how I'm going to die, so I'm going to go out how I want to go out. I respect that too. Eat what you want to eat. Do what you want to do. But I think, it's a taught mind state to feel like, okay, let me start taking control of my health as much as I can. So good story.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was not looking for some light after everything that I had gone through, so I did not read that thoroughly. I agree. Your doctor. It is important to take care of yourself. It is important to, to the best of your ability, which you have access to eat healthy. All of these things are true. And I want to absolutely avoid any of this kind of like personal responsibility rhetoric, right? Because we know, right, most of our people are not in mansions. Most of our people are experiencing food deserts, right? Which is another type of warfare that we are exposed to, right? I remember where I live, right? It was weeks trying to find a red onion in a grocery store.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Like, straight up, you know what I'm saying? So like, I just want to make sure that we, again, not individualize this. This is a great story. I'm very happy for her. She has lots of followers. She has currently holds the Guinness World Record for oldest competitive rope skipper. Great. All that's fantastic. Fantastic. And that's an individual story, right? We need to put it in context of like, what situation most of our people are in, right? And how do we take control of our communities so we can have the food that we need to be healthy and spaces for leisure and exercise and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
take. It's all these different stories you could take.
We need to cut this whole clip out because we're not going to do no more stories where we don't do due diligence, learning about who these people are.
I'm just reading it. I'm just like,
there's always something you could take out of a story, though.
But you can give the story without showing the mansion because of who she was married to and because of her history, as she tells people, if you dream it, you can do it. In part from her life as a Playboy bunny. So can we right. Oh. And not that I'm upset with that, do what you got to do, but to sell this life as if she worked so hard, y'all, she's not a rich commie, Brittany. There's a whole lot back here, including who she was married to, which the person who was the chairman of the board of the Independent Mortgage Brokers Association, which tells you everything you need to know about where he got his money. Y'all.
And listen, that's what we do here on the Remix Morning Show, y'all. We bring them up here just so we can bring them down. Oh man. Speaking of, we almost out of time for the Remix Morning Show today. Evan, I'm sure you have some
normal list.
You would like to share what's going on with Paca and BAP and all that.
Yes.
While you pull that up, Renee, what you got coming up on Saturdays with Renee?
So I actually have to check in. So Robert Stubfield was going to come back to give an update on what is, what's happening with the African burial ground and cemetery in Maryland that they've been fighting for. We had chosen this date because they had an upcoming court date in early May, but the court date just got moved. So I'm waiting for Robert to let me know if he still wants to go this week or if we need to move it. That said, since you asked what was going on, as I think told folks about previously, we are screening another movie here in Jersey. And that's going to be on May 2nd. We're showing Seeds for Liberation, which is Matthew Solomon's new documentary, connecting the Palestine movement to the Black Chicano and other struggles. Matthew's going to be in town along with his executive producer, Donna. Moath, who is known as Mohams on the socials, apparently, who is in the documentary, will also be available. And Claudia de la Cruz just signed on. She's going to join the panel also to discuss. So we'll watch the movie and then we'll have the panel discussion. So that is coming up. I will drop that link in the chat so that we can, so that folks can participate and keep an eye out because Laura's book comes out next month, Laura Shiha, and she's doing her book tour. I think she's in London right now, actually. And so she's going to be coming to New Jersey at the end of June. And then I'm working on getting this other documentary, this other movie, because I think it's worth watching. Right. And the 150th Saturdays with Renee is on my 50th birthday.
What?
So do it live.
When is that? That's this Saturday?
Yeah, in August.
In August. Oh, damn. I wasn't listening. All right. That's great. Hey, 11 o'clock. We did Shaka Khan Part 1. We will be doing Shaka Khan Part 2 this Thursday at 11 a.m. So make sure y'all tune in for that. If y'all are in the ATL this Saturday and y'all want to go out and get some sun and exercise, jump rope maybe, and listen to some Ear Doctor, I'll be at Shirley Clark Franklin Park here in Atlanta with Masiki Scales and Common Ground Collective. No tables, no chairs. It's going to be all types of dopeness out there. So come through for that. Dancers, African dancers, DJing in the band and a parade and all that stuff. All right, Evan, you got you.
I got you. I'm ready.
Cool.
First off, we got this Wednesday, Paca's I almost messed it up. Asada Shakur Popular Education Session. We've changed the name, ASPE. But this one's going to be the high cost of utilities, why the people should control public resources, all about how capitalism produces a situation where we have to pay for these utilities that we need, and why the people should be in control of those resources. So come check us out there in person and or online if you're available. Also, this weekend on Sunday, PACA is doing our People's Pan-African Wellness Front, PBWF, at Rise Demonstration Center. So please come by if you're. We're providing blood pressure testing. We're doing breathing exercises to help people manage their emotions and stress and things of that nature. Of course, providing hygiene kits, radical health information, and more general health information. So please come by if you're interested in engaging with us in that way. And then finally, this weekend coming up is a weekend of action against Israeli presence in Africa. It's going to be from the 24th to the 26th. The DCCWA will be getting involved in that and doing something. But I did want to leave the group with this statement. So this week was initiated by our comrades in the Coalition for the Elimination of Imperialism in Africa. So we are BAP is a part of that, along with many other organizations. And it's currently 24 organizations actually committed to struggling against increasing Zionist presence in Somalia, Kenya, and all of Africa. But I wanted to share this statement because this is kind of gives my fault. I'm sorry, I'm not sharing that. Share this statement because it gives a background and grounding, right, on how Zionism has been involved on the continent, has this list of countries, right, in their relationships. Important to note that 44 out of the 54 countries in Africa have some kind of ties with Israel, either military, diplomatic, or otherwise. So really important. 44 African nations. So check this out and look, pay attention to our social medias and BAP social medias across the country, right? Because we'll various chapters and citywide alliances will be engaging in things this weekend.
All right. And Latif says, don't forget your phone tripod stand selfie stick. All right. So that is it. We will be back here tomorrow morning, Women's Wednesday at 8 o'clock for some more of the Remix Morning Show. So make sure y'all tune in and let a friend know this is what they should be watching. This is the Remix Morning Show. That is Evan. That is Renee Johnson. I'm the ear doctor. Thank you all for being who y'all are right here on Black Liberation Media, Remix Morning Show. We out this piece. Have a great one.
Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.